You're listening to Straight Outta Stratford 203 with Zach and Julian, the best sports podcast in Connecticut. Sit back and enjoy the ride. In 3, 2, 1.
Straight Outta Stratford, slinging takes like Stafford, talking all the big games, have a beer right after. When it comes to the facts and the stats we provide, better know that our names will be up in the rafters.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Straight Outta Stratford podcast, episode number 57, season 2, episode 10. I am your host, Zach.
And I'm Julian. How we doing today, guys?
And we are back on the air once again. It's been a long week, but we got a lot of crazy topics we're going to be covering today. We're going to start out with some NBA stuff. We will transition a little bit into the MLB just in regards of the Mets and Yankees, and then we will close out with a little bit of some NFL news before the season is officially underway. But the big NBA news that we did see this week was that James Harden officially reached a deal with the Cleveland Cavaliers. He will be returning. The extension was 3 years, $97 million.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, I didn't really pay attention to NBA news this week because I was just more focused on MLB and NFL. It's reasonable because there's no NBA. But I saw that about like 20 minutes ago. And at where James Harden is in his career, I don't think that $97 million is the kind of money he should be getting. Because you look at it, right? You could say, oh, yeah, you're paying for the name, not just the player. Oh, but look at how he played in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, I mean,
he had a few good games against who they played before the Knicks. They played Detroit, right?
Yeah,
he had a few good games against Detroit. I mean, you trade for him at the deadline. He adds a good level of offense in your team that's already high power offense, right? Because you have Mitchell, Mobley, and
Jared Allen.
No, there's one more.
Well, he also had
I believe his brother's in the NFL.
Brothers in the NFL.
Yeah,
I'm probably blanking on the name.
Yeah,
you gotta forget it's morning time.
It's not Jordan Tyson. Jordan Tyson doesn't have a brother, does he?
He may. I don't know.
I don't know, but it's either he's on the Cavs or the Pistons. But because I remember.
I think you're talking about the guy that's on the Pistons.
Yeah, I'm talking about the guy that's on the Pistons. Damn it. But that's not a big deal. Yeah. But you already have a high power offense. I'm thinking of Jalen Johnson.
Yeah.
Jalen Johnson's. I think he's on the Cavs though.
I don't know if he is because I don't remember seeing him on the Cavs last year. But
there's another player on the Cavs that's good besides. It's like a shooting forward or power forward or small forward.
Power forward. Well, I know that they had a couple other guys.
Small forward, shooting forward.
Well, they also had Dean Wade. Dean Wade's now gone.
But
you could probably look it up
as we're talking.
Yeah,
but he brings the offense, but you look at how he played defensively in the playoffs, and it's just not there.
Especially the Knicks series.
I was getting to that because you saw the way he played in the first half, and then fourth quarter, the entire game plan of Mike Brown was get the ball to Brunson and let him fry the ever-living crap out of James Harden.
Yeah.
Because you saw the way Harden played on defense, and it's not even like he was wearing sneakers that were hard to identify.
They knew.
He was wearing lime green shoes.
Oh, I know.
That made him an easy target. You see the lime green shoes, give whoever he's guarding the ball, and he will score.
Yep. Well, Harden defensively was not great during the postseason, but I think it's fair to say you look at his stats from last year, especially after he was acquired by Cleveland at the trade deadline. He's averaging 20.5 points, 7.7 assists, and 4.8 rebounds over 26 games. He did add a lot of offense to Cleveland, which actually made them more of a powerhouse. The only problem was, like you just mentioned, defensively in the playoffs, he wasn't there. Offensively, he still averaged 19.2 points, 5.5 assists, 5.1 rebounds in 18 games. So it's kind of understandable as to why he got some of the money he did. At the end of the day, I know a lot of people say, oh, it's an overpay. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a massive overpay. Defensively, it looks like an overpay, but offensively, if you can get Harden the way he was during that 26-game stretch, it's pretty efficient. The guy's a ball scorer. He knows how to hoop. The guy moves the ball well, and he can dribble very well, and he shoots fairly well. So, who was it?
I know ball. Jalen Tyson, shooting guard, Cleveland Cavaliers, Jordan Tyson's brother.
It is. Okay. Well, I didn't even really know who he is either, so I do not.
I only know that because they were playing the Pistons in that series, and he got subbed off the court just to be told his brother got drafted by the Saints.
Well, I didn't even realize that. We will actually mention Jordan Tyson later.
Yes, one of the fans. I don't know if it was one of the fans or one of the coaches. Like when he got subbed off, started screaming, "Your brother just went pick 9 or pick 7 to the Saints," and he started screaming, "Yeah!" But then he's like really a bum. But there's somebody else I'm thinking of.
Well, I was about to say,
he's not a well-known player.
He's not a well-known player.
No, there's somebody. They had another. I think he might have got traded or something.
No, I was about to say I wouldn't be surprised if he left in free agency. But yeah, no. So with the whole James Harden thing, though,
or was he included in the Harden trade?
Who?
The guy I'm thinking of.
Darius Garland?
No.
That's who was involved in the Harden trade. Was Darius Garland because they traded him to the Clippers.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but at least going with the James Harden thing again, I could understand why a lot of people were saying it was an overpay. It is a lot of money, but the thing that stood out to me the most is not the amount of money. It's two stats that came from this deal.
Oh, wow. Jalen Johnson, I'm not even an NBA player. I feel embarrassed. Cornerback for the Bears.
Yeah, see, I was about to say, I had a feeling. Yeah, but the two things that were crazy to me about the Harden trade, or the Harden deal here, is number one, he is the fourth player ever to eclipse $500 million in career earnings. The only other three are LeBron, KD, and Steph Curry. He is now the fourth.
So,
the other one is he's the second player ever that got a guaranteed contract at the age of 37 or older worth more than $90 million. Only other one's LeBron.
So, what I was going to say before I went on that tangent was I feel like the $97 million over 3 years should have been what Philadelphia gave to LeBron. Because you're looking at, in a way, it's just showing who really cares about the game of basketball and who's just in it for money.
Well,
because we saw this happen with Draymond taking $27 million for 1 year, which I think is still outrageous. And I also think that they're still living off the hype of, well, Curry's still good, but they're living off the hype of Draymond Green in his prime. And I don't even think, I said it before, and I'm saying it again, even in his prime, Draymond's not worth $27.5 million.
LeBron thing, though, the only reason why LeBron didn't get that money is because he willingly said, I will take a vet minimum.
Yes, he did say he would take a vet minimum, but LeBron was playing, I guess you could say he's ring chasing, but at the same time, LeBron's playing for the love of the game, and he's not he has all this money.
Oh, he's got all the money he needs.
He got all the money he needs, but it's not like he's saying, yeah, I want to join your team, but I need this amount of money. He's saying, I'm willing to take a vet minimum.
Yeah.
To ensure.
Well, the big thing that a lot of people actually don't realize about this whole Harden contract thing anyways, the reason why it's been done so late was the original plan was for Harden to opt out of his original deal to allow Cleveland to go out, have a little bit more financial flexibility, and try to sign LeBron, and then determine how much money they would give him from there. Obviously, we know.
Yeah, but
LeBron
Harden never opted out.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure it was
I think it was an expiring contract anyway.
No, I'm pretty sure it was a player option, and he willingly opted because he knew that he was going to ask for more money, but it was also to try and pursue LeBron. Now, at the end of the day, LeBron does not choose Cleveland. He chooses Philly, which leaves all of this empty space.
Sort of similar to my ideology with Draymond when it was me and Mike. I said that Draymond said he would take a pay cut for LeBron to join the Warriors, and then LeBron doesn't join the Warriors, and Draymond's like, you know what? I'm not taking that pay cut anymore.
Well, see, that's I feel like similar to what happened with Harden. Is Harden was like, I'll take a little bit less money if it means we get LeBron. LeBron decides not to go, and now he's sitting there going, okay, well, now I deserve my money because LeBron's not coming here.
Speaking of LeBron, did you see the top, 10 or 15 players in 2K27?
I did.
4 out of, I believe it's LeBron, Embiid, Maxey, and Brown are
I think they're all top 20.
They are all top 20.
Yeah. Well,
and they're all above. I think they're all above 90 overall too.
It still makes sense because they're all good players.
Moral of that little side story is if you play 2K against your friends and you don't do random teams and you just say, oh, I'm picking this team, which first of all, you always do 3 randoms and a suicide.
Yeah.
But if you willingly choose the Sixers, and I'm looking at the camera, and I'm not gonna say my friend's name, but if he watches this, he's going to know I am talking about him.
Direct shot.
I'm always at his house, and he's either OKC, San Antonio, or he downloaded the updated rosters on 2K26, and he's either the Phillies, the Sixers.
Yeah. Well,
he chooses those 3 teams. If you do that,
you're fried.
You're fried. If you willingly choose one of the best teams in the game without doing 3 suicides,
or the 3 randoms and a suicide.
3 randoms and a suicide, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a little disgusting. But I will say this. This is how we can kind of wrap up the NBA stuff. Is at least with Harden now, kind of what we were going off of him taking his money, being similar to Draymond. The big thing that they did do with this move, however, is right before Harden signed, they had that 5-team deal, which they ended up acquiring 2 players in that deal. One of them is Peyton Watson. Is it Peyton Watson? Yes, it's Peyton Watson and Cam Whitmore were the 2 players. Now, I know the big reason why they added Whitmore to the trade is for the sole purpose of waiving him, and what that'll do is that'll keep them underneath or safe from the luxury first apron. Yeah, so they won't have to worry about being past the first apron, but they also had a player in Peyton Watson who had a really good season last year. He's 23 years old, 6'8", small forward. Is going to be a lot more beneficial for Cleveland because now he's a 2-way player. So he's going to be good defensively. You won't have to worry about players crashing down on Mobley and on Jared Allen every single play. The guy is very, very versatile. On top of the fact that he did have his career high, I believe it was 14.6 points per game last year. So he's going to be a good option to add to Cleveland to make them better with a starting 5 of Mitchell, Harden, him, Mobley, and Allen. That's a very good starting 5 in the East. It's going to make them very competitive. And then the biggest reason why they did that is once they waive Whitmore, it allows them plenty of flexibility so that at the deadline this year, they're able to go out and get some veteran depth pieces for their bench. I think that's a very good move for them. You add a guy like Watson, you really didn't give up too much. The only thing that they really did not like was giving up an unprotected 2031 first rounder. Now, you look at that, it's 5 years down the road. They're not really too concerned about a 2031 pick. So I could see why they gave up a first rounder at that point and why it's unprotected. But overall, it's a fairly good deal for all the parties involved. Cleveland ends up getting better from it, and they're going to be more competitive in the East, especially after losing in the Eastern Conference Finals to the Knicks last year. Just one step away from the final. So should be interesting to see where they go from there and how well Harden does. I know, I
guess you could say they were a step back away from the finals.
They were a step back away from the finals, yeah. But yeah, Harden back to Cleveland, not really much of a surprise. The money, I guess people could argue about it. But again, I think it was
one thing that's funny. Half the time Harden did his signature step back, it was blatantly a travel, and they just never called it.
No, of course not. Well, the league has their favorites, and then they have some that they don't like. That being said, we'll transition over to the MLB for a little bit. We're just going to talk about the Mets and Yankees. 2 very different scenarios from where we were a couple weeks ago. Mets right now, finding a little bit of life. 11 wins in their last 15 games. They've won 4 out of their last 5 series. Things are starting to click. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, they're going to make the playoffs. I'm not going to go that far. It's too little too late for me because you're going to have to hope a lot of other teams lose, and you're going to have to hope you go on this crazy streak. But I will say this. take this momentum into next year. I like a lot of what I see right now. There's 5 big things that stand out to me. One of them you're going to laugh at because I made sure to put something in there that you're going to find a little bit funny. But the first one is Carson Bench. The kid is incredible. He's one of the best players the Mets have on this team right now, one of the most exciting, such a bright future ahead. He's on pace to be like almost at Darryl Strawberry's level with his first year with the Mets. It's awesome to see. The guy's got an absolute cannon in the outfield. I'm pretty sure you saw the highlights on ESPN of him throwing out back-to-back runners at the plate against the Padres in the series opener in the first inning.
I did.
One of the throws was 103.9 off of his arm. The kid's got an absolute gun.
Like I said, it kind of reminded me of like the Cespedes play from the playoffs.
Yeah, it did. But people stop trying to run on him. You're going to get hosed at home plate. If you have not seen it yet, you're going to get hosed. Number 2, he's batting really well. He's batting .316 with 4 home runs, 10 RBIs, 9 runs scored over his last 15 games, .579 slugging percentage, .381 on base percentage. He's been great, especially in these past 15. For the whole season, he's been really good ever since he, started playing a little bit more. But over this past 15-game stretch, he's been very important for the Mets. Helped them win quite a few games. Number 2, you see a lot of other players starting to step up now. Lindor's been much better ever since he had his struggles earlier in the year. You see guys like Jared Young stepping up and having some timely RBIs. Bo Bichette looks like a completely different player from what he did for the first half of the season to now. If he was where he is now earlier in the year, he'd probably have one of the highest batting averages in the league. Absolutely crazy. Another guy, big time, Luis Torrens. 5 home runs in his last 9 games. Has been awesome for them. You've seen other guys like Simeon and Alvarez really step up in some games as well, too. As shocking as that is, I know. It's crazy. They've been much better. It's starting to look like it should have earlier in the year. It just sucks that it's this late. Number 3, the bullpen. Completely revamped. I don't know what they did, but it worked. You see guys getting used like Daniel Duarte. It's been phenomenal for the Mets so far. 0.94 ERA through 15 appearances. The guy's been awesome. Same thing with Nate Lavender, Jumpin' Jeffrey Yan. Both of them have been very good. I know that's another laughing point.
Jeffrey Yan.
The celebration's a little bit much, but I'll tell you what. He brings energy. He makes it enjoyable. At least for the Mets, there's not much to enjoy. He's part of it. Truly. Kodai Senga. Hasn't allowed a run in 5 appearances as a closer. And he's looked great. On top of the fact that I love the walkout song coming out to Michael Jackson's Beat It. And I don't know what happened. You have Senga with like almost an 8 ERA. You put him in the bullpen and bring him out as a closer. Completely different pitcher.
Yeah, because nobody can hit the forkball like him.
Well, I think that's a big thing is he struggles with later innings because batters are starting to get adjusted.
Yes, because it's not just, I don't mean to cut you off here.
No.
Because I know it's a pet peeve of yours, but.
No, it's okay.
What I notice, and not just with the Mets and with just teams that have pitchers that are struggling, you're seeing something like it's just managers like in their brain. First time through the order, yeah, leave them in. Second time, leave them in. Once it gets to the third time through the order, managers are a little iffy on whether or not they should leave their starters in because the other team is finally adjusted to them. They're seeing them very well. And most of the time, they're at 60 to 90 pitches going through the third time through the order unless they're actually shoving like maybe one could say like I don't even know who's leading like a Mizorowski or a Schlittler or a Dylan Cease or a somebody like just that's just good enough to get
through the order a couple times. Yeah. No, you're right. I can agree with that, but that's something I think that we've kind of touched on before is Senga in his first couple innings is always fairly good. I mean, he's had outings where he struggles finding the strike zone.
He gets to the first 3 innings, no problem, and then the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings is where he implodes.
Yeah, and he implodes. So them being able to identify that and utilize his skills and his pitch rotation that he's got, it's worked. I like that a lot better. Number 4, the starting pitching itself has looked way better. You got the rotation right now of McLean, Christian Scott, Sean Manaea, Zach Thornton, and then they've used Robert Stock a little bit. Now, the thing is, if you look at those last 15 starts from all 5 of those guys, they got a 3.79 ERA, which I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, that's not that great. As an average, it's not terrible. Amazing. For the Mets this year, that's one of the better. Now, the only reason why it's at 3.79 is because you had 2 rough outings, one from Christian Scott and one from Robert Stock, where they had 1 or 2 innings that just really were not good. I'm pretty sure both of those games were against the Atlanta Braves. Ever since then, they've been much, much better. The Mets find ways to win when Scott's on the mound. I've liked what Stock's brought in so far. Zach Thornton's been very good. Nolan McLean finally starting to really settle in. I know he had a couple rough outings as well. And Sean Manaea flipped a switch. I know he was not good earlier in the year. I was ready to say to him, listen, move him to the bullpen, put him on the IL.
You were ready to DFA him.
I know. I was. And it's not that I'm still not, because, listen, he's settling in now. I'm still concerned a little bit about his throwing arm because there are times where his velocity is a little lower, and sometimes they read onto him really well. So I don't necessarily know. That may just be me, but at least from my look at it, the pitching staff has been much better. The 5th one is what I wrote down to make sure that you laugh at this.
I think I know.
You probably know where it's coming.
It's at the end.
Yes. It's at the very end.
Yes.
The head coaching and the managing. Much, much better. My goodness. The difference between a guy like Andy Green as the interim versus Carlos Mendoza, it's been night and day, the difference. Number 1, you see him actually working with players, sitting down, being communicative with them, talking with them, giving them a sense of confidence. That's something that Mendoza did not do. He coddled and protected his vets and didn't really worry about much of the young guys. Green focuses so much on the youth development, making sure that every single player grows and contributes. That's number 1. Number 2, like I said, kind of is in the same ballpark, is relying on the young guys. Before, it was a lot of the vets seeing consistent playing time. You see a lot of the young guys not playing. Now you see a lot more of the young guys stepping up, playing a role, being more competitive. That's what you want. But the third biggest, and it drives me nuts, is the post-game press conferences and acknowledging what is going on. If the Mets don't play well, Andy Green does not sugarcoat it. He goes, listen, we didn't have a good outing from this one today. We had a lot of mistakes that we made here, and he points at every single incident that went wrong. He can remember the inning. He can remember the play, the situation. He knows. Mendoza, it's the same old crap. Every single time, we didn't execute today. We just have to be better. This is a tough stretch. Yeah, no kidding. It's a tough stretch.
Yeah, but guess who he learned that from?
Yeah, and this is where I was going with it. He is a carbon copy with the same robotic answers as Aaron Buffoon. He is Aaron Buffoon 2.0 all the way to the max. I've said that so much. I told you this at the beginning of last year.
You did?
I did not like Mendoza as a manager, and they stuck with him the whole year, and it bit him in the ass. Now they finally get rid of him, and look at what happens. There's accountability. The team's got this scratch and claw effort. They do not give up. They're gritty. They battle. That's what you want.
Ready. I'll do my best impression of Aaron Boone after Mendoza got hired by the Mets. Yeah, I'm gonna miss Dozy as a assistant manager. He was a great bench guy. We used to chop it up in the dugout all the time. I wish the best for him. But Dozy's a great manager. He knows what he's doing. I taught him a lot, and he's gonna bring the Mets a lot of success.
And brought him a lot of success, he did not. I mean, they had the 1 year where they made it to the NLCS, but again, I've said that from the very beginning. It was despite him. They had all of the talent. They had the effort. They had
I don't think he was the manager at that
drive.
time.
Yeah, he was.
No, Mendoza was the
100%.
Yankees bench coach when they made the World Series.
No.
Yeah, it was.
I'm 100% positive.
No, I'm 100% sure Mendoza was a bench coach for the Yankees.
I know that because I was pissed when they lost because I said that it was a lot of Mendoza. I can guarantee you.
Nope. I don't think you're correct.
How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet?
I don't think you're correct.
I guarantee you I'm correct.
Also, I was gonna say I like the Aaron Buffoon thing, but we always gotta stay and roll with Mike's Aaron Baboon.
Carlos Mendoza managed the New York Mets to the National League Championship Series in 2024.
Oh, well, I was wrong.
I knew I was right because I remember saying that year, I said, this team was better not because of him. It was because of that whole OMG, the whole turning the season around. A lot of guys stepped up. Lindor was scorching hot. Yeah, the Jose Iglesias, JD Martinez played a huge role that year.
God.
I'm telling you, that was they had everything clicking at the right time, but it was not Mendoza. Because Mendoza did the same garbage he did this year and the previous year. Was, if we don't play well, we just did not execute today. Robotic answer, very generic, same old garbage.
All right,
it's
well,
the
now,
same crap.
Since you brought up Aaron Baboon's name,
yeah, as Mike would call him, Aaron Baboon. I call him Aaron Buffoon, but
I'll just say Booney sucks.
Yeah, Boone sucks. Yep.
We're gonna transition into the Yankees. Before we talk about their injury bug that happens every year, we're going to, and you can write this down, but I'm on X right now, and I see this, actually, no, Twitter, sorry. I went against my own ideology. Garrett Cole passed Roger Clemens yesterday for 12 in all-time strikeouts.
Wow.
In the Yankees franchise. He's now 12th after recording his 1,015th strikeout. It's a pretty big name to pass. Roger Clemens isn't a scrub.
No, he's not.
So
well, it's only in Yankees franchise history, though, no?
Yeah, but still, Clemens wasn't with the Yankees for that long.
No, that's what I was going to say. Clemens put up some good numbers when he was with the Yankees, but I know he was not with them for a crazy amount of time.
You got to acknowledge, he's almost like top 10 in franchise history in strikeouts.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it. And he deserves it, too. Cole's been very good. If it wasn't for the injuries, he probably could have passed that a little while ago, too.
Well, not all the young guys should play is all on Boone. It's also on Cashman, because Garrett Cole probably would have been top 10 if they didn't hold on to Clint Frazier and Miguel Andujar in 2017. They would have got Garrett Cole from the Pirates instead of from free agency.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I guess either way you still ended up with him. But
yeah, but I mean, hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
If they knew how Frazier and Andujar were going to turn out.
Yeah, it probably would have been better for them to go get him earlier.
To be fair, Andujar had a pretty good rookie season, and then he got hurt.
Clint Frazier wasn't bad early either, and then he kind of just tailed off.
Because that's what they do. They bring him up, they bring him down, they bring him up, they bring him down, they bring him up, they bring him down. Yeah, and they kill their confidence. Yeah. And that's why I'm saying I hope and I pray that when Aaron Judge, Bellinger, and Stanton come back, the one name that I don't see that gets sent down to Scranton.
Spencer Jones.
Yes.
If
he gets sent down, I legitimately think I am going to lose all faith in this franchise, because Spencer Jones has shown he has the ability to be an everyday player. He should be the starting center fielder next season for the New York Yankees, unless they go out and get Mike Trout or somebody who's way better than Spencer Jones. You know, I even play him over Mike Trout at this point.
Well, yeah, he should be starting over Trent Grisham, though. I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
he should be starting over Trent Grisham.
That definitely makes sense.
The one name you're going to have to DFA at the end when everybody comes back is somebody that I said I don't understand why they traded for him, is Heliot Ramos. Because that guy has been, I think he got on base last night, but before that, he was 0 for his last 25 at-bats.
Yeah, I don't know what he's done so far. Luis Garcia's actually been okay.
Yeah, Garcia hit a home run last night. Yeah. Heliot Ramos, I don't know if I didn't watch last night's game, but I'm basing this off of Wednesday night's game. He hasn't had a single RBI for the Yankees. He was 0 for his last 25.
Yeah, it's a tough stretch.
You can't. Also, I'm saying this right now. Pete Alonso's ball was a foul ball, not a home run.
I know. I saw a lot of people arguing about that
because the view that they showed on the broadcast showed it as a fair ball, but there was another camera angle that didn't get shown, and it was
foul ball.
It looked like it looked more like a foul ball than a fair ball, but it could have went over the
foul pole. Yeah.
But see, if anything, that's gonna just tell the Orioles to just raise the poles. Most stadiums have them higher than how they have them at Camden Yards.
Yeah. Well, They got a lot of stuff that they need to fix anyway, even though the Orioles have been on a nice little run, too. Of course, Pete Alonso leading the way. Would have been nice to have him on the New York Mets.
It would have been nice to have him on the Mets. And now the Orioles, it makes no sense. They give up one run. right? The Yankees are ahead. And then there's a wild pitch, and then the catcher doesn't react to go get the ball until he sees Jazz Chisholm running from third base, and he's already halfway to the plate.
Adley Rutschman would have never done that.
Exactly.
But of course, they traded him to Boston.
Yep.
Trust me, I still don't understand that move either.
Back to the Yankees, right?
Yeah.
Was it Thursday or No, it was Tuesday. Tuesday you see Rodon. No, Monday you see Rodon.
It was Tuesday. Tuesday was his first start. Monday he got called back to the
roster.
roster.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Monday you saw Rodon get called back to the roster, and then every single Yankee fan for like 4 hours was like,
yeah,
we got the four-headed monster, Schlittler, Fried, Cole, Rodon, and then you throw Weathers in there, who's been very well. And I am officially now off the Will Warren train again because he's been ass in his last like 5 or 6 starts. Not 5 or 6, but the last 2 to 3 starts he's been ass.
Man.
So like I'm kind of off that train because he's been. Dude, he gave up 3 runs to the. I forgot who they were playing. Was it? He gave up 3 runs to the Mariners in an inning and a half.
Oh, was that I remember watching that game. He let up a home run, I believe, in the first inning. It was like.
And then he let up like. No, it was back-to-back, I think. Back-to-back home run. It was something stupid. So, right now, Will Warren's like, Like, he's not all the way at Volpe status because Volpe status is...
Can I ask something?
Yes.
What happened to Luis Heel?
He's been hurt.
I thought they said he was coming back.
Yeah, he's been hurt. He made a few rehab starts, and I guess he got hurt again. I mean, last year... They held on to Heel, and they could have got Kyle Tucker for him. And I mean,
wow.
It would have been 1 year of Kyle Tucker. Last year, Kyle Tucker was great for the Cubs.
Yeah, but
this year he's crying in the dugout like a little baby.
Well, he has not been nearly what they offered him. $60 million?
Last year, Kyle Tucker.
Nice.
If they got Kyle Tucker last year, it would have been amazing. But this year, he's been more like Kyle Sucker. So,
yeah, he has not been good.
All right, but back to what I'm saying. Luis Heel, Clark Schmidt. And I believe there's one other person coming back from
injury.
I don't know if there's another starter or they might just be working Will Warren into a pen spot.
Well, they'll probably work.
It'll be Will Warren coming out of the pen, and you see Luis Heel and Clark Schmidt ramping up to be bullpen options for them.
Oh, you said Clark Schmidt, right?
Yeah, okay. It said Schmidt and Heel are both going to come back as bullpen options. I'm not against that because. You haven't seen Clark Schmidt pitch since last season. And I do believe Clark Schmidt getting hurt was a bummer last year. But at the same time, if Clark Schmidt never got hurt, the Yankees never would have called up Cam Schlittler. And they never would have found out how absolutely disgusting he is. And I don't care how well Dylan Cease is pitching right now. If that man does not win the Cy Young, I might riot.
Yeah. No, that would be the second time that a Yankee got snubbed out of an award that meant something like Jose Altuve stealing Aaron Judge's MVP.
He should have 4 MVPs.
Yeah, he should.
Don't even get me started on that.
No. That's why I'm going to stop.
Don't get me started on that because I could go for hours.
I'm just going to say
what makes no sense is that you call up Rodon, right, and then you put Fried back on the IL. I mean, according to Aaron Boone, which you can't believe a single word that guy says.
Nope.
It's not an actual injury of Tommy John. It's just a bone bruise still. And it's just like, it's not maybe like a little bit of a precaution, but he said the most time that he probably could miss is the 15 days that he's on the IL for.
Can I make a quick statement about it? I think the big thing for it is kind of what you said with the whole precaution. This is the second time that they're putting him on the IL for the same issue. I would be much more concerned if it was longer term. I think the big reason why they put him on the IL is, think about it. You're still in the wild card spot. You're 9 games up on, the teams that are outside of the wild card.
Not only...
You do not want to take your chances with having him... continue to pitch and then hurt his arm and then go into the playoffs without one of your best pitchers. That would be stupid.
Not only that, but they're only 4.5 games behind Tampa Bay.
Yeah, they're not far out. Things can happen.
They can still win the division.
100%.
And they play Tampa Bay in September in the Bronx for 4 games.
So that could swing like this.
And
that's why
a lot of it has to do with the looming lockout because they're using it as a precaution. Let's say Fried does need surgery. But they want to they want to preserve whatever he has left for maybe late September, early October. Let's say Max Fried goes out in let's say they make a World Series, or they make the World Series, right? And he's pitching, and he goes 5 innings, and then he blows out his arm. Like, he doesn't have to worry about pitching next year.
Well, for the most part, unless some magic happens in the CBA
Unless
and MLBPA.
unless Houdini himself comes in and says,
Yeah.
there's going to be no baseball
I don't
next
know.
year.
I agree, but...
But something I will talk about. I didn't watch UFC last Saturday.
I did.
Did, what's his face win?
Who?
Makhachev?
He did.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I will say this, though. He almost lost.
Really?
Yes. The first 2 rounds was a lot of the same old Islam, grabbing and dragging him down to the ground, submission styles, pin him up against the cage, just a lot of grappling. Looked very tired going into round 3, and Ian Gary landed some big shots. Some very big shots. Even the 4th round I thought was a lot closer. But then the 5th round, Islam came out and just closed the gap, did the same thing, just tried to drain the clock out, ended up doing so. Very close fight. I'm telling you, if Ian Gary was more physical in that 5th round and pushed out and actually threw some heavy strikes at Islam before he could try and get taken down, he probably would have won that fight. All right. And same thing, Mackenzie Dern absolutely dominated.
Okay. Now, that was just
She's
a quick
freak.
That was just a quick little side thing. I just popped in my head. No, but like you're saying, they have a 72-55 record. They're still they're obviously a shoo-in for the playoffs right now.
They should unless something crazy, they should be. Yeah, I was about to
knock on the door. Yeah, there you go.
We'll do but yeah, no.
So
they should be a shoo-in.
Now, the one thing I will say is that as of late, you're seeing players like Austin Wells
start to play a little better.
Ryan McMahon start to play a little better. Well, he just jammed his finger.
Yeah, but they said that he's day-to-day, so that means he may not play, he may play. It's still with all the injuries that the Yankees have, you don't need any more.
But day-to-day is not really hurt.
No, it's not nowhere near what
he just jammed his finger. Yeah. I will say you're seeing Ryan McMahon make... Because when we traded for him, I'm never going to forget that day. That was the funniest sequence of events that has ever happened. Me and you were on the show talking about it in the morning, and I said the one player I don't think the Yankees should go trade for is Ryan McMahon. We end the show. I go to the beach. I'm relaxing. This kid calls me. Doesn't even text me. Calls me and goes, "Hey, you see the Yankees just traded for?" And I am fuming. I'm like, don't talk to me right now.
Yeah, he was not a happy camper.
No, but you're seeing the guy that the Yankees traded for. You're not seeing the powered back, but you're seeing the consistent on-base percentage.
Which is all they need.
And they just need players to hit the ball in big spots. And you saw him come through, was it Tuesday? No, you saw him come through on Tuesday with a big RBI single. Wednesday, you saw him get on base.
Didn't he have an RBI sac fly to win the game, too?
No.
Last week? I'm almost positive he did. He had one almost to the warning track, and the bases were loaded, and they won the game. He's been better.
He's been better as of late, and that's all I could ask for.
Of course.
His defense is there at third.
He's a lock-in at third.
Yeah, he's a great defensive player at third. And then, along with the resurgence of George Lombard, I think this kid, every single Yankee fan is looking at this kid right now like, why wasn't he starting at the beginning of the season?
I was going to say that is the difference of night and day between him and Anthony Volpe. I don't know why they waited nearly as long to call this kid up.
They should have called Lombard up last year for September call-ups. He played well in spring training, and it's just night and day.
I'm telling you, they have some love for Volpe that I just don't understand.
It makes no sense. You repeatedly send him out there. I guess there are struggles, but you send him out there day after day, and you see him make several errors.
Yeah, it's wow.
And you're just like, yeah, he'll get going, but he won't.
Yeah, you know who that sounds like?
Carlos Mendoza.
Thank you. Oh, don't worry. He'll get going. It'll take some time. He's just going through a little bit of a rough stretch.
And then
it'll work.
And then you have Brian Cashman, like, floating around the trade deadline. Oh, all these big names. Oh, yep, Mason Miller and Descubel. And the one player they wouldn't get rid of was Lombard. But at the same time, there was no guarantee they were going to call him up. Wow. Which I actually did say they were going to do that.
Oh, yeah. No, I know. We all said that on the show. We were all saying that they should have called him up.
Well, no, not that, but before the week, I think it was the week before the deadline, or 2 or 3 weeks before. Yeah. We were talking about the deadline. I think, you know what? I said, I think that Lombard is going to get called up, and he's going to be the shortstop in the playoffs. And then you said they're going to have to do it right after the deadline. I said, watch. The day after the deadline, Lombard is going to play his first game in the Bronx.
We both said it. I said they're going to have to do it the day after the deadline, and sure enough, the day after the deadline, they called him up. Yeah, I'm telling you. The big way that I can kind of talk about the Yankees real quick, though, too, is not having a lot of these guys, like you kind of
Judge,
mentioned.
Stanton, Bellinger, and the big factor for them to make it deep in the playoffs is if they come back and they are ready. If they come back in stride, because you know what the Aaron Boone method is like, yeah, Judge is going to take some swings off the tee, maybe get 1 or 2 at-bats in a rehab game, and then bring them back up. No, Judge should do 2 or 3 rehab games, get at least 15 to 20 at-bats, maybe even more than 3 games. 15 to 20 at-bats in the minors. I get you don't want him to tweak something down there, but you want him to get his swing mechanic and his timing and everything back. You don't want to just throw him back in the majors because that could be a big issue. Now, speaking of another big issue, nothing to do with the Yankees. I just brought up Judge's name. How have people, I mean, I'm basing this off of last season because last season this player was amazing, but imagine if they gave the MVP to Cal Raleigh over Judge last year, and then you're looking at the production from Raleigh and Judge this year, and season statistic-wise, Judge is still better than Cal Raleigh is.
Yeah.
And Judge has missed
almost like 70 or 80 games.
He hasn't played since mid-May.
Yeah, May 31st was the last
May 31st was the last time Judge has played a game. He still has more hits and more home runs than Cal Raleigh does.
Probably more RBIs, too. Or, well, no, I don't know about maybe more RBIs. Probably has a better batting average, though, too.
He definitely does, but if you, like, that was just a crazy stat I had to throw out there. But what we're talking about is that Judge, Stanton, and Bellinger, if they come back and they're swinging the bat well,
they're going to be good.
You gotta watch out for the Yankees because if they get Fried back and he's healthy and their bullpen consists of Schmidt, Heel, Warren, Blackburn, Bednar. Yankees should extend him like as soon as possible. By the way, I love David Bednar. He's just a big guy with a beer belly, and he just throws the ball. He throws.
Reminds me a little bit of Java Chamberlain in a way, but
yes,
a little bit.
Yes, that's what. But they're gonna have Schmidt, Heel, Bednar, Blackburn, Hedrick. There's one more guy.
Well, Ryan Weathers will probably get moved to the bullpen for the playoffs because they usually run 4-man rotations.
Yeah, they're going to get Weathers in there too.
So, yeah, no, here's what I'll say about the Yankees, and then we can kind of just go to the NFL topics. The Yankees...
Fernando Cruz is the other guy.
Fernando Cruz, that's the other one. Yeah, if kind of going off of what you said, the Yankees have still found a way to hold themselves in a spot where they do not have a lot of their guys back. With the ascension of George Lombard, with the play of Spencer Jones, with guys like Luis Garcia Jr., if Heliot Ramos, I know you don't like him already, if he can somewhat figure it out.
Nope.
Ryan McMahon
He's a bum.
Can continue with his success. Jazz Chisholm kind of turns it on a little bit. If you add Bellinger, Judge, and Stanton back and all of your pitchers are healthy, this team will be a concern. This AL is wide open. A lot of people will say, oh, well, the Rays are the best team. Listen, the NL, a lot of people will think the Dodgers, and it's very rightfully so. You know, they're nasty. The Cubs are very good, too.
The Phillies.
But the AL, to me, is the most wide open of the two. You do not know who the hell is going to win out of the AL. You really don't. It could be the White Sox.
There's an 80% chance that it is a team in the AL East.
Yeah.
Because they're...
Because Boston, Orioles, and the Yankees
and Tampa Bay.
It's So, again, like I said,
best division in baseball?
Very close. I wouldn't be surprised if it is. But it is a very wide open AL. But if the Yankees can get all those back and kind of like what you said, go in full stride, they're going to be a team to watch out for.
Because a lineup of Trent Grisham shouldn't play in the playoffs. I mean, as of late, he's been playing better.
Use him as a pinch hitter.
Use him as a pinch hitter, exactly. Use him as a pinch hitter in the playoffs. As of late, he has 11, maybe like something like 12 RBIs over his last 10 games. That's not that bad.
No, it's not.
But if you have a lineup that consists of Judge, Stanton, Bellinger, Rice, Lombard,
Jones, Chisholm, McMahon,
and Garcia. Like that lineup
that
right
lineup
there,
is very good.
That lineup right there is,
yeah. But that's my point. You get all those guys back and they're firing on all cylinders, and you get a little step up from everybody. They're going to be a team to watch.
And Rice is the catcher.
Yeah,
you have to put him play him at catcher.
You're going to have to.
It doesn't matter.
But we were talking about a lot of injuries.
Injuries. We can transition into the NFL
right
now.
What the hell is going on in the NFL? I'm just going to go through a quick list here because we're not going to go crazy in depth because I do want to talk about the signings and extensions that we did see from the week.
I could just fire off a few of these.
Yeah, well,
Tyler Biadasz with a ACL injury, Breece Hall, several weeks groin injury, Marcus Mariota with a ACL sprain, Jamal Adams with a ACL.
Why he came back, I don't know.
No, he played a full season with the Raiders last year, but.
And what did he do?
He wasn't that great, but he wasn't that bad. But here's the thing. If I was him, I would refuse to play at MetLife because he played for the Jets there, and he was always hurt for the Jets. He knows how the turf is at MetLife, and he never should have stepped foot on that field again in his career.
And the minute he stepped on MetLife, his career is most likely over.
I think he was guarding OBJ, too.
I would not be surprised. Yeah, but his career is probably over at this point. Jeremiah Love getting hurt, that was not pretty.
I said it last week. None of the starters for week 1 should be playing in the first week of the preseason because if they get hurt, they're out for probably a few weeks during the season. Also, some people are mad like, oh, it ruins my fantasy season. If you're drafting for fantasy right now and you're in a league that has money on the line and you're drafting for it right now, you are a whole cornball. Everybody in that league is a cornball. You shouldn't draft until maybe the week before or maybe even the night before the league starts.
I'm so glad you said that because I did the same. I didn't draft, but I said this to someone the other day. They told me, oh, I already had both of my fantasy football drafts, and I'm going, really? It's only week 1 of the preseason. This is week 2 that just started. What happens if someone gets hurt? They're not going to play that many starters. You're not going to see that many people get hurt. Oh, really? Let's continue with the list. Jeremiah Love, Chuba Hubbard, Kyle Monangai, Alvin Kamara out 1 month with an MCL sprain. Jordan Tyson out for 2 months with a hamstring injury. Now I'm starting to realize why the Rams didn't take a lot of these guys because I guess Mekhi Lemons had some hamstring problems and Jordan Tyson's got hamstring problems. So now I see why. Jaden Higgins tears his ACL yesterday. Brian Brees tore his ACL. He's out for the season. Laramie Tunsil tore his pectoral muscle. He's out for almost the whole season. Johnny Newton, defensive tackle, out indefinitely with a torn pectoral. Then, yeah, exactly. These aren't as severe, but Egbuka is most likely to return, but he's out for the rest of the preseason with a sprained toe.
Tyler Warren
is hurt. Sam Laporta may not play week 1. Luther Burden's targeting a week 1 return, but he's out for the whole preseason with a strained groin. You have so many guys. Like the season is just starting, and you're already seeing them out for a month, out for 2 months, out for a year. What in the hell's going on?
I was at my friend's house last Friday. We were just sitting, we were chilling, we were having a few drinks. We did a fantasy draft, but we have no money on the line. There's no money on the line. We were just doing it for laughs.
They must all be playing in San Francisco. That's where they're all practicing. Everybody's practicing in San Francisco at the day substation.
I am in a $50 league, and we haven't drafted yet. We're not drafting until September. But I did a league with 6 of my friends. And we just did it because we were bored at my friend's house, and we were drinking a little, and someone goes, you want to just do a fantasy league for fun? And no money involved, but the loser does a punishment. And we're like, yeah. Because it's funny. When there's no money on the line and it's just pride, it's kind of funny.
Well, it's more, to be honest, it's less stressful.
It's less stressful.
You lose, it's no big deal.
As long as you don't come in last. But what I'm saying is, if you're doing a draft for a league that has money on the line right now, you're cornball.
Yeah, you're cooked. Cooked.
If there's no money on the line, you're doing it for fun, go for it.
Yeah. Trust me, I don't understand it either.
That was like the one time my friend drafted Andrew Luck, and then he retired like 30 minutes later.
Yeah. Trust me, that's like I said, that's why I'm glad we didn't have any of our drafts yet. If you guys did draft, I'm so sorry for the ones that took certain players that are hurt now, like Jordan Tyson and Alvin Kamara and Jaden Higgins, because I know a lot of people were talking about him having a big year or bigger year.
He's out for the year, right?
Yeah, he's out for the whole season. But whoever set that up, your commissioner is an absolute moron.
I saw a video yesterday of Joe Burrow limping.
What a shock. What a shock.
Also,
he needs to get out of Cincinnati. That's all I'll say.
Also, something I'm going to say is if you watched the Bengals preseason game from week 1, the Bengals were rolling out their starters. And I don't know what team they played.
It was the Detroit Lions week 1.
Yes.
And they got sacked on the second play of the game.
Exactly. You're playing your starters against backups for Detroit.
Yep, and Joe Burrow still got whacked. Yeah. I'm telling you.
Speaking of...
Joe, I'll tell you this right now. If you want a home, request a trade next year, we'll be glad to take you. We'll give him Ty Simpson. Now, Ty Simpson did look fantastic in his first preseason game. That's something that we didn't get to talk about because it's so late.
Is he going to end the streak of terrible Alabama quarterbacks?
I think he probably can. But here's what I will say, and then we'll go to the signings and extensions. But I have to bring up Ty Simpson. I'm wearing my Ram stuff for a reason. I know a lot of people were very skeptical, including myself. I apologize. The only reason why I was a little skeptical, and it wasn't that I was upset at the actual pick itself. I was upset because I thought that the Rams' mentality was taking the swing to go all in. Go get yourself another receiver. Go get yourself another offensive weapon that really helps. I didn't think that they were planning for the future and going to get their quarterback that they believe is going to be the heir to the throne to Matthew Stafford. However, I never thought that Simpson was a bad quarterback because watching Alabama, I am an Alabama guy, so I've watched almost all their games last year. They had one of the worst O-lines and struggled with injuries throughout the whole year. Their run game was ranked 128th out of 136 college football teams. When you do not have a run game and you are forced to throw the entire game, you're probably not going to put up that great of stats. But people forget he started the year with 21 touchdowns and 1 interception on the season before he ended up getting hurt against South Carolina and playing through injury. That being said,
crazy.
The perfect home for him was L.A. You get to learn behind Stafford. You have a coaching guru with Sean McVay. You have a ton of offensive weapons. They gave him a game plan that was so simple. So simple. Nothing crazy. And he executed. He looked calm, cool, collected in the pocket, scrambling out, making the correct throws.
Exactly. And you're looking at people looking at Stafford and you're like, well, he didn't do anything in Detroit. And people are like, well, maybe he didn't have weapons in Detroit. No, he had arguably one of the best receivers in Megatron and Calvin Johnson. And then once Calvin Johnson retired, he had maybe 3 years where he had a little bit of a crappy receiving core. But then you saw Golden Tate come, who was balling in Detroit. And then when healthy, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Kenny Golladay was also pretty good when he was healthy.
Yeah, so was Marvin Jones Jr.
Marvin Jones Jr. was good too. In Detroit, Kenny Golladay was good when he was healthy. He knew how to catch a football, and he wasn't playing for a $72 million contract.
Yeah. Well, kind of. I don't want you to think about that. I'm sorry.
I was so happy when we signed him, too.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, there were a lot of Giants fans that I know that were happy from signing him, and look at how that turned out. They did not turn out
great. He had
one
touchdown pass, one touchdown against the Eagles in a meaningless game, and it was a circus catch.
And he did nothing else.
Yep.
Yeah. But at least kind of going off the Simpson thing one last time is I know that a lot of people were saying, oh, well, maybe he looks like the best quarterback in the draft. Let's not get too crazy, okay?
That's Carson Beck.
Watch it. He did look like the best so far with the way that he played. Granted, it's a preseason game and they're against backups. The only reason why I'm so stoked about it is because he looked better than Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett's been there for years and still can't do that with the same players. So it makes me feel really good knowing that Ty Simpson is probably going to be the backup.
Before we talk about these signings real quickly, I saw something, you don't have it here, because you probably saw it. I don't know if you have your own opinion about it, but rookies that are either A, undrafted, or B are in the late rounds and are at risk of getting cut have gotten exemptions to go back and play college football for another year.
I did see that.
I think that's just stupid. I mean, I get they're trying to continue and follow their dream of playing football, but there are other ways to do it. You go play in the CFL, the USFL, or some other league that there is. You don't have to go back to college.
I wouldn't be surprised, and I think that they should do this. I'm surprised they haven't. Why isn't there a minor league like NFL? You know how the MLB's got like so many different levels, and then guys can get called up and stuff. How come we don't see that with the, yeah, the NHL has it. The NBA has it with the G League. Why don't we have that for the NFL? Some of these guys would get tons of playing time down there, and hey, who knows? Maybe they develop into good players, and the Rams call up somebody and go, "Hey, we saw you played really well. One of our guys went down. We'd love to have you call." Where's that? You know what?
That's actually a great idea.
I'm a genius. Not really.
Roger Goodell, if that happens, we're coming for you. We're suing you. You're taking all your money.
Yeah, don't steal my idea.
That's
but
a
if
joke.
You do,
that's a joke.
I'll deserve credit for it.
Yeah, but
I don't know why they don't have
I think it's like
because
I guess
that would solve that whole exemption.
It solves the whole exemption thing, but I guess like that's kind of what the USFL is.
Yeah, but there's still other.
If you look at the USFL, it's just players that have washed out of the NFL.
But that's my point. So why doesn't? Here's a perfect example. Why doesn't the NFL buy the USFL?
Because The Rock owns it, and The Rock doesn't want to associate himself with Roger Goodell.
He could say that right now, but if he got a good enough paycheck, I guarantee you that he would. Just like he left WWE for the paycheck. I'm telling you right now, if they threw him a massive deal worth tons of money, you're telling me that The Rock would turn that down? Hell no.
Because it was the USFL and the XFL, and they merged.
Yeah. Because the XFL was garbage, and it never ended up panning out to be what it was supposed to be.
And then The Rock brought it back, and then it still was kind of garbage, and then the USFL started. But
that's what they should do, because he would get paid by the NFL, so he'd be making more money anyway. He could have some stake in it, but just sell it to the NFL and say, it's now your minor league system. You have a whole bunch of teams that are basically like, instead of it being the LA Rams, they're the Inglewood Rams, or the Anaheim Rams, and you have all these minor league teams, and players can get called up or sent down. That would be smart.
That would be a great idea.
And more players could actually make it. So
that's actually, that
was probably one of the best ideas I've ever came up with in my life.
I didn't want to say it.
You could have said it.
I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to offend you.
No. That would not have been offensive. That would have been accurate as all hell. That was one of the greatest ideas
I didn't want to be the one to say it.
Well, now you don't have to worry about being the one to say it, because I'll say it. That was one of the best ideas I came up with. I'm going to be completely frank.
That might be one of the best ideas I've heard in my entire life.
And it all came from me. How about that? Miracles can happen.
But instead of searching for a minor league system in the NFL, they're looking to permanently base a team in London. Like, it makes no sense. But
they could still do that with the minor league teams.
I just don't think that it's like fair for players that are playing in high school to try and get a college spot, and then they maybe have a guaranteed spot on the team, and then they're like, well, this player's coming back from exemption, and he's taking your spot.
Yeah, I can agree with that, too. That's kind of why I said the whole minor league system.
I thought the rule was once you get drafted, you can't go back.
I thought that was the rule, too, and I guess they must have changed that.
Speaking of that, whatever happened to, what's his name, the quarterback for Ole Miss?
Oh, Trinidad? He's playing.
At Ole Miss?
Yes, sir. He is. He's back at Ole Miss, so that's why they're ranked so high up on
Trinidad,
the leaderboard.
Chambliss or whatever his name is.
Chambliss, yes, sir.
But
we'll close this out. We're just going to run through really quick
signings,
with the quick signings and extensions.
Saw the Seahawks extend Devon Witherspoon to a 4-year, $132 million deal, making him the highest paid cornerback in NFL history. He was the number one cornerback last year, ranked by PFF, finishing with the highest grade of 89.9.
Yeah, he deserved the money.
You see the Colts sign a safety blanket receiver for Daniel Jones. We were talking about last week how the Colts were a little short on the receiving end because a lot of players were hurt. They signed Keenan Allen to a 1-year, $8.32 million deal. Allen finished 2025 with 81 catches, 777 yards, 4 touchdowns in 17 games.
Now, I will say this, though. I think that the big reason why they signed Keenan Allen, there's something seriously wrong with Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce is still on the PUP list, physically unable to perform list. He still has not come back yet. Tyler Warren is a little bit banged up. Michael Pittman obviously traded during the offseason to Pittsburgh.
Stupid.
And they still have Josh Downs and other guys. I think that there's something genuinely wrong with Alec Pierce. I think that they panicked a little bit and said, you know what, we need to bring in a for sure all-hands guy like Keenan Allen because we need to be more sure of us competing in our division because their division's really not crazy strong. That's what I personally believe. I could be wrong.
See, the Cowboys signed Von Miller to a one-year deal.
That's a great addition for them.
Cowboys focused on improving their defense through a rough season last year, and they had a future Hall of Famer in Von Miller, who finished with 26 tackles and 9 sacks last year with Washington.
I'm telling you, that's a big addition for them.
Yep. Now
that's going to make their defense a lot better. You add another veteran to that room, along with other guys that they've brought in, whether it be through the draft or free agency, like getting guys like Quinnen Williams, Rashawn Gary. Now you have Caleb Downs as well.
Yeah.
Adding a guy like Von Miller to that room. Their defense is going to be a lot better next year.
Yeah.
They genuinely have a chance at winning that division. I know you don't want to hear that. That division is going to be one of the tougher ones in football.
In my opinion, that division I think is wide open.
Yeah. There are a lot of teams that I think that will improve. I could see the Philly taking a step back. I see Dallas taking a step forward. I see the Giants taking a step forward. No one knows with Washington. It really depends on what you get out of Jaden Daniels.
Don't say his name. He might sue.
Oh, yeah. I got to stop it. I'll stop at 4 because there's only 4 teams in the division. I can't go to 5 out of respect for him.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, Jaden Daniels, if he's healthy, is legit. So that division is going to be very interesting to see what happens.
Now, staying in that division,
yeah,
where the Giants made a signing a few days ago, and at first I was a little like, what are they doing? Maybe Scatterbo's not fully healthy. But then you brought it up earlier in the show, or not earlier in the show, but I saw it like on Saturday. The signing of Najee Harris with Tyrone Tracy not knowing how to block.
Well, here's what I'll say on that.
I know
a lot of Giants fans.
Not only is that Tracy's fault, I think it's Daniel Falele's fault. Falele or whatever his name is.
And they immediately traded him.
Yes, I don't know how they got anything in return for that guy.
Especially after that missed block by him and then the missed block by yeah. Here's
now,
what I'll say.
Let
me just say something real quick because I know you're the Giants fan, so you probably got more to say on it. But I think the big reason why they did this, there's 2 reasons. Number one, it does have to do with the blocking. He's definitely going to be a little bit more under the microscope now after as bad of the block as that was because Jackson Dart got whacked. That's number one. Number 2, the other reason why, and this is probably more of the reason why it happened, if you look at John Harbaugh's coaching history, he has a tendency to carry a lot of running backs. He loves to use them. Even when he was in Baltimore, they were running 3 or 4. Who was it? Gus Edwards, Justice Hill, Keaton Mitchell, and Derrick Henry were his 4 that he was running.
True.
So he has a history of running with 4 running backs. So it kind of makes sense to why they bring in Najee. It's better running back depth for them. Now you have Scatterbo, him, and Tracy. To kind of understand why they did it. That's my reason.
There's another name you forgot to add in there.
And that is?
Pat Ricard. Like you got but he's like a fullback.
Yeah,
but
that's why
when you're looking at like the running back room or like the backfield, the 3 main names now are Scat, Najee, and Ricard.
Yeah.
They're all big, they're all bullies. Tyrone Tracy's he's a good running back. He's serviceable, he's usable, but
he's going to be more of a pass-catching back.
Harbaugh loves his big bully running backs.
Yes, he does.
I don't know if it's maybe like a safety blanket as to where if Scat plays how he did last year and he gets hurt, he's like, oh, well, we still have Najee. He looked great from what we saw from him in the workouts or the practice tape or whatever. But speaking on the Giants real quick, you saw them play the Vikings on Saturday, and you saw Jackson Dart look good, which is great. And you see Malachi Fields. Malachi Fields looked amazing. He had a great touchdown pass or catch, and there was a great pocket presence from Dart to go scramble and find the open guy. And you saw Fields just go up there and grab it. He's a guy who I think can learn a lot from not only Neighbors, but he could also learn a lot from Odell.
Odell actually had a couple of routes where he blew past corners too, and they just didn't throw him. But he doesn't look bad.
A lot of people are saying that Odell's going to be the odd man out and get cut, but I don't think that's true because you see Juju just got cut. And Odell was taking reps with the number 1 squad this week.
And he should. That would be stupid.
Harbaugh loves Odell. He wanted to play with the Giants one more year before he's done. And I just think that the Mara family, they're not going to – they probably already told Harbaugh not to cut him on the amount of revenue they're going to make off of his jersey sales this year alone.
Probably. Yeah, I wouldn't be very surprised if
the Giants could be 0-16 and the stadium would still be packed just to see OBJ play.
Absolutely.
But
It's
I'm not saying they're going to go 0-16. But
no,
like,
I know they're not. But
and the Giants' defense looked very good. Jack Kelly, I think his name is Jack Kelly.
Yeah, the linebacker.
The linebacker they got in the 6th round looks amazing. Arvell Reese looked like an absolute unit.
Yeah. I'm telling
And
you,
then-
that division
yeah.
is going to be very tough this year.
And Arvell Reese, he started a fight the other day at practice. Did you see that?
I did.
He threw a punt. Like, I love the energy. I love the physicality, and I love.
They're going to be good, man. They're going to be really good.
Long time coming.
I think that there's a big step up from them. But the last two we'll talk about is
Now,
Seattle signing Trevon Diggs.
Trevon Diggs. Now, this is surprising.
Not as surprising as you would think.
Well,
There's a reason.
there's a reason because Terrion Arnold's on the commissioner's exempt list. But
Correct.
what I mean by surprising is that I'm not saying I didn't expect Diggs to sign somewhere. I expected him to sign with the Commanders because
with his brother.
not only to be with his brother, but he's from Virginia. He grew up there. He probably would have loved to play in a team for the team that he grew up rooting for under a different name that I shall not say.
Thanks, Roger Goodell.
But one of my friends is a Commanders fan, and he goes, you know what? He goes, you make a great point, and the thing is they probably were in conversations to sign him in contract talks, and because he said we do need another cornerback. I mean, he was only good for that 1 year, but we definitely could have used him in the secondary. And he goes, you are 100% correct. They just signed his brother. He probably would have loved to come there, but he goes, Seattle probably called him in last second and said, we'll give you more money than what they're offering you. And he was probably like, yeah, I'm going to go take the payday.
They actually didn't mention the money that he's getting paid. It's still not disclosed yet.
But but it would have made the most sense for Diggs to go back and play for Washington because he's from Virginia. His brother just signed there. They do need secondary help.
Yeah. Well, Seattle kind of does too because you lose Tariq Woolen at the end of last year to Philadelphia. Obviously, they're planning on trying to sign Terrion Arnold, but a lot of people don't know. They agreed to a contract. The contract has not been signed yet. It has not been finalized, and the reason why it has not been finalized
because he's on the commissioner's exempt list.
Exactly, and they're afraid that depending on the verdict of his court case, if he is found guilty, which there's a good chance that he probably will be, that they're not going to sign him because that would be an awful look for the organization. I mean, we've seen a lot worse looks from other teams in the NFL, which is shocking, but again, it's not a great look. And then they could always go with Diggs, and you still have Witherspoon. So they needed a little bit of secondary help. But the last one, which we'll talk about, which kind of saw this coming, a lot of people were very surprised. Who?
Akella Witherspoon, is that what you're talking about?
Akella Witherspoon retired.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, he retired.
Devon Witherspoon is the one
Devon Witherspoon is the one on Seattle. So they still have a very good secondary room. But the last one, again, like I said, kind of a little bit of a surprise, but not much, is Vita Vea signed his extension with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
A 1 year, $30 million, and after this season, he's most likely going to go into free agency.
I would believe that they're going to lock him down, though. The only reason why I say this is because, at first, you remember a couple weeks ago, July 27th,
he requested a trade.
And the reason why he did that became very evident after this.
Because he wanted a contract.
It was all about negotiation tactics. It's either you trade me or we start working on my contract.
It's kind of similar to the Dexter Lawrence thing with the Giants, but the Giants wound up trading him because Harbaugh was like, you know what? We got a young core on defense, and we could build off of that instead of paying you.
Whereas Tampa has a wide-open division right now where they're most likely going to be favorites again, even after losing some of the guys that they did. So they keep a fan favorite. It makes sense.
Mike Evans looks washed.
Good. As a Rams fan, good. As an NFL fan, that sucks because I loved watching him play in Tampa. But as a Rams fan, watching the 49ers scramble to find pieces and they're just all washed. Debo. It's awesome.
I was kind of surprised if he signed with another team that he went if he had to choose any other team in the league, he chose the Niners out of, it could have been any other team. Now that I'm thinking about it, it doesn't surprise me as much because what's one receiver in NFL history he was tied to a lot?
Jerry Rice.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. No, listen,
and
it makes
then you
sense.
saw him sign with the Niners, and you're like, well, maybe it's because he wants to go,
And he won't ever break his
he
record.
won't ever break his record, but he
seasons,
wants to just
He tied it.
tied it with Jerry Rice, and he goes, let's just check out San Francisco.
I'm kind of surprised by the whole thing, too, even though he does not look that great. But, again, we have to see what happens during the regular season, which is coming up very soon. That being said, thank you guys so much for tuning into the Straight Outta Stratford podcast, episode number 57, season 2, episode 10. I'm your host, Zach.
And I am Julian.
And we will see you guys next week.
Yep.